It just takes so much confidence for women my age to like actually listen. Typically, we're not taught that we're enough. It's like you have to earn this and you have to take care of these things in order to be able to walk into the room.
Welcome to the Car Ride Home podcast. Today I've got a fun car ride planned with Jill Higdon. Jill is one of our Alliance Bass Pitch owners and leadership of the Southeastern Bass Pitch League. She's also co-founder and owner of Connect Sports, which runs some of the biggest and best events for softball, and co-founder and owner of Fury Platinum. Also very important because we're going to talk a lot about women's history and women's sports, but Jill is a former athlete and college softball player herself, playing at LSU and UT Chattanooga. Jill, welcome to the Car Ride Home.
Thanks. Don't leave out Chat State too. My JUCO years were really important to me. So Chat State also in there. I had a interesting journey.
I left it there so that you could mention it and give it the love. So most important, Jill, and I know this is going to be a good answer. We're in the car. What kind of music are we listening to if you're in control?
Brandy Carlisle, like all the way. Like I know it's like much more chill than you'd probably expect, but Brandy Carlisle is my go-to. I know like all the words to all of the songs. I feel like Brandy is my friend. I'm like, you know me well enough. I'm like, we should be friends. Like I like to see Brandy become like mainstream has been weird. I've been a fan of hers for forever. So it's all Brandy Carlisle.
What about, I know this is a car ride home, but car ride to games. Did you have a pump up song? Like what was your jam back in your?
So I had to listen to Dave Matthews. So I would listen to Dave and like kind of try and, because I mean, I'm naturally pretty wound up. So if I tried and pumped up, I mean, if I got more pumped, I mean, I couldn't even like stand in the batter's box. So I was listening to all Dave all the time. And actually, we just threw a 90s party. So I listened to a lot of Dave the past couple of weeks.
Solid. We should put that in the background here.
Yeah.
Second most important question while we're in the car, where are we stopping to eat on the car ride home?
We're going home to eat. I really like eating at home. I didn't play travel ball. I didn't play high level travel ball at all, the way that I know all of you guys did. So we did everything rec. Actually, Jenny Finch's, she is like lives in my hometown now. So she like we'll talk about the nachos from College Oaks, and but we would go home and eat, and we would probably be eating like a baked sweet potato and green beans and like some sort of like salmon or chicken. Pretty boring.
Because we're going to talk about your Louisiana roots. Favorite Cajun dish?
I love them all. So I just cooked one heck of a gumbo. I just cooked like the best gumbo I've ever made. It was so good. It was tasso and andouille and chicken. Did some chicken thighs. The chicken was like by the end just disintegrated. So
I think we're going to detour and we're going to head to your house. We're heading to for some gumbo. What is your most memorable car ride home, and your mom as well? So it could even be as a mom, a coach, as an athlete. What's your most memorable car ride?
Yeah, so I remember when, I don't know how old I was, probably 12, you know, when all the athletes were the pitchers. And I got in the car and my mom was like, God, you sucked. Like that was it. But again, I mean, I was playing rec league, so like my life wasn't on the line in any way. Like it was just like softball was something that, you know, I don't even remember choosing. It was just like something that my mom wanted us to do, and so it's just what we did. And yeah, so I got it. She was like, "You suck. You probably want to practice." And I was like, "Oh," because people had been telling me how great I did. You know, like great job, Jill. And mom, I got it. Mom was like, "That was terrible." I don't think I practiced. It wasn't motivating. That's just how she was. It was all from love.
No, what about you as a mom? How are your car rides with Crawford?
Oh, I'm like so intentional. Like, so Crawford's a fencer, not any kind of like ball player. And oh no, it was just about like, how'd you feel? Did you have fun? Like, did you hydrate? What'd you eat? What'd your friends say? Like, super, super intentional about not getting into the matches. I would like let him lead that conversation all the way. And it was really fun to like let him go, you know, just what'd you think? Like, how was that? And then he would get like super intense, which My son is not an intense dude. He's like as laid back. So that was really fun to watch him get intense. But I did not say you suck unless it was like totally in jest, which I don't do. I don't do sarcasm. I can't pull it off. So they all know, like, that was great. I love you so much. That's
So
it.
good. I love these stories. I think it's because selfishly I've spent so much time in the car and being that role. So it's really fun to hear.
Mhm.
You've already kind of alluded to it a little bit, but I like to get just a background and set the stage. And especially yours is different. Growing up in Louisiana, softball wasn't your main sport. You already said you didn't play travel ball. So what did your journey in softball look like? Can you give us a kind of from start to college journey?
Yeah. So, like, start like when I was 4.
Let's do it. Let's start from the beginning.
Okay. So like I didn't choose softball and I come from a small town and actually it's not as small as it was when I was growing up. People know Lake Charles now, but back then we were just a small town. And mom ran the rec league. She was mine. My sister's 2 years younger than me. She ran that rec league. She did all the politicking that comes with the rec league things, made sure we were on all the all-star teams. Um, I never owned my own bat until LSU. Like, I really didn't know that people owned their own bats and owned helmets. Like, we just shared everything. Um, so I wasn't going to play college softball. I was going to be a college cheerleader. That was always going to be my path. And my junior year, I went from being about 5 foot tall, 100 pounds to 5'6", 155. And so cheerleading was out at LSU. That doesn't go well. And so I wasn't going to play softball. I was just going to go to LSU, and we won state. My senior year, I played shortstop, and Phyllis Gedry was there with LSU, saw me competing, and asked me to walk on at LSU, and so I did. And which for me, coming from a small town from Louisiana, that's life changing to get to play a sport at LSU. And then broke my hand, played for Glen Moore. Glen Moore sends me to Chattanooga to get some experience. I go to Chattanooga State, where I had a lot of success, played for Frank Reed, who was great to me. Coach Reed just like let you play. So that was awesome. And then earned a scholarship to LSU after that, which was really cool. And I got to go to the World Series in '01. Actually, I made so at the last convention, I got to sit at the table with like it was me, Natasha Watley, Jenny Finch, Stacy Newthman, Dana Sorensen, and one more. And actually, Jazz Jackson was at the table with us, and I was like, "You guys, so we were all in the '01 World Series, and like we're the ones like in the rooms making these things happen. Like it's really cool. I mean, they were all them, and I was like really fighting to get an at bat. But yeah, so that was my college, and then Gerard and I just didn't get along, and so I ended up going back to Chattanooga, playing at UT Chattanooga that last year, where my boyfriend, now husband and business partner, were. Yeah. And Jeremy like helped me learn how to play shortstop. I had to learn how to play shortstop in college at that last year, and he would like go out with me before practices and like be really honest with me. He was the first person to tell me that I was being selfish on the field. He was like, "I know that you think that you're being hard on yourself, and that's what like is coming off." He was like, "You're not. You just look selfish. Like it's not a good look." And I was like, like we were dating.
He proposed right after that.
Yeah, I know. Jeremy, the proposal's hilarious. There was no proposal. But yeah, yeah, no, I'll tell you that off camera. But yeah, yeah. No, and so then I was a high school coach and then started giving lessons and started doing events and just kept following opportunities after that.
It's pretty cool, and I can relate a little bit from being from a small town, not playing the travel ball that we all know today, and then getting a chance to go. Do you remember you got an opportunity that not a lot of softball players get to do, right? Which is experience the Women's College World Series. I know since you and I played it, it's gotten even bigger. But do you remember that moment? Like, can you like visualize walking in and what that felt like?
It was crazy, Jamie. Like that was life changing. Like I'm kind of getting emotional, which it was. That was crazy. All of it. Like, and there was this is what I was like, newsmen, we did there was like a dinner before that they don't have anymore. And every team kind of did like an entertainment piece. And probably Treat Appeal did ours. Like, I don't remember who did
Sure.
ours, but yeah, but Stacy did something for UCLA, and she doesn't even remember those, but she essentially got up and did like a stand up bit. Like, she was hilarious. And then of course she like beat us 3 days later in the World Series. But yeah, no, like the warm up fields. Like, I remember, I mean, I had like the best warm up I'd ever had, and like sitting on so what's now the left field bleachers was just a hill back then. And so like you would warm up on those fields behind the
Mhm.
stadium and then like walk up. And I'm not the type of person who remembers who was playing or anything like that. I remember the feeling. I like went and sat on that hill and I was like, this is I mean, and you're at like being small town, Lake Charles, like I'm playing for LSU and we're here on this biggest stage. And personally, I was struggling. I was like playing time and all of that. And even still, I'm just like,
So cool.
wow, wow. It was
It's
crazy. And like we played Oklahoma and I got to play like 7 innings of a 13 inning game. And there were like 3,000 people. Are you there? There
yeah.
were like 3,000 people in the stands, which was huge. Like 3,000 people showed up to watch a softball game. Like, it was the biggest deal. So, oh no, that experience definitely changed my life.
Now you're involved in softball and you've got so much going on. How much do you think that your experiences as an athlete shape what you do now? And do you have any specific examples too?
So, I had a lot of tough conversations at when I was at LSU, and I got to play at every level. So I played at LSU when we were top 25 for the first time. Then I played JUCO, and then I played LSU when we were top five for the first time. And then I played at UT Chattanooga, and we were top of the mid majors. Like, we should have made it to the World Series that year. I actually got hit in the face. So that's a whole story, also. But the tough conversations that, especially at LSU, where I wasn't getting the playing time that I thought that I had earned. And so going in and like I mean, as a kid, and which it kind of works to your advantage, right? Like, I was a kid, so like I didn't know the room that I was in. I just wanted to play softball and putting my thoughts together, getting the nerve together to say, like, what do I need to do? Um, I mean, I remember it was late in the season, my junior year, that LSU year in '01, and going to Gerard and saying, like, I want to play. Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm good enough to play. And she was like, where would you want me to put you, Jill? Like, April Jensen was playing second and she was doing great. She was like, I'm not taking her out. And like, just to hear that and like sit with it was like, okay, and I was pretty selfish during those years. So I had a lot of maturing to do. So those conversations, someone looking at me and saying like, you're not good enough. Like, like, I know that you've worked. It doesn't matter. You're not good enough. Was yeah.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there. I know that. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
makes us stronger in life.
Oh, for sure. I mean, what I've done, the rooms that I've been in as a business person, those conversations, I don't go back to them like, like consciously, but the strength that was built in hearing that was, oh, amazing. I mean, that's what like, to me, the best coaches are the most honest, like loving and honest. Because if you can like handle someone saying like, yeah, I see you working, but you're still not performing. I love you. Like, those are the best coaches.
Completely agree with you. It makes you think of Marty's truthful, harmful,
Oh,
hurtful there.
amazing. Amazing. That sermon, I could hear that sermon over and over again.
Jill, because one of my favorite topics is women in sports and women in sports business, particularly. And I feel
Yeah.
that you and I also get to live out our passions, right? Of building businesses inside a sport that means a lot to us. So, can you talk about that journey? Because so many of us athletes, right, when we're done, we want to stay in the game a little bit, right? So we'll do lessons, we'll do clinics, we'll coach, we'll somehow, find a way to stay involved. And you're in a position where you've built several different businesses inside the sport of softball, which I think is super cool. Can you talk about that journey and what you've learned along that journey of being a woman in a sport business that, even though it's softball, it's also, there's not a ton of women in business?
Yeah, it's interesting. There are a ton of women in college coaching, but not very many women in the business of youth softball. And I've gotten to see, so I was recently in like a big executive board, like $1 billion company. And I made sure to bring two of my younger female staff members with me. And before the meeting started, I went to my younger staff members. I was like, hey, I fought to get you in here. Like, thank you for looking the part and being on time. And that it's important to me that there are at least 3 women in this room. And then the day proceeded, and all sorts of women came in to represent the $1 billion company. It was amazing. Like, it was kind of crazy. And then the 2 young women at the end, I was like, so what'd y'all think? And they were like, yeah, I'm used to women being in the room. Like, it was strange to me when you were saying that there are a few women in the room. So though, and they're in their late 20s. So I'm 45. So in the last 20 years, it's gone from like me being the only one in the room to 20 something year olds going like, what are you talking about? There are always women in the room. Like, they truly didn't understand what I was saying. So it was me and all men, kind of all the way through until I got to build my own company. And now we have 14 employees and 10 of us are women. And truly, the people that have the most experience in my company, they are men, because it was all men. Like, it's very difficult to go find an experienced woman from specifically youth softball business. So they're getting up, like they're 27, 28 at this point, most of the women. I mean, I have some in their mid 30s, but um, it's it's been super interesting to watch the business evolve, and moms making the time to be coaches. I mean, used to, when I was coaching travel ball, I was the only woman always. And me and Jessica Seaman, like, that was it. Like, I would like look forward to seeing her. And now, like, I'm walking around and I'll text you like, hey, I'm not just making this up, right? Like, there are more women on the field. So it's been amazing.
I know too that, I forgot you guys have 14 employees, but you have a lot of former players that work for you now. You have a lot of former players that you mentor, and I know you're always looking for opportunities to help players kind of grow in their professional journey. Why is that so important to you? And what specifically, like, what are you telling these female athletes in regards to advice and different things that they can do in regards to business?
So a lot of it is women, I find, try too hard. So a lot of it is, and I'm a trier. Like, I'm straight up, like, I'm going to try and get it done. So I've learned to breathe and trust myself. I learned visualization. Actually, my high school coach, Carolyn Fuselier, she was awesome. She wouldn't let us call her coach. We got to call her Fuse. Fuse would walk us through these visualizations, and she would actually always comment, like, I couldn't relax. She would walk us through relaxation, and I couldn't relax. I just didn't know how. And I was confused. She'd be like, you can't relax. Like, why aren't you relaxing? I'd be like, I'm trying. I am. But a lot of the mentoring that I do with women is teaching them to breathe. We'll walk through visualizations. I'm actually mentoring a player at Memphis right now, and she's a natural trier. And so we do these visualizations where, just like, breathe, trust yourself, trust your eyes. And it's the same thing in business. I just saw a fun thing that I actually wanted to say to you specifically, that women will, and I do this, and I feel like I don't do a lot of the women stuff because I'm so intentional. And women will start a sentence with, I know this might not be a good question for right now, but let me, whatever. I did it the other day in the board meeting. I said, this might be a dumb question, but blah, blah, blah. Right after I said it, I was like, gosh, Jill, Like, there was no reason to start with that. The men in the room don't do that. They just have a thought and they say it. You can like watch it happen. And I'm like, hey, so, and just to speak up takes so much courage for me still, especially in those rooms with like some legends. I mean, I've got like Rico and Steph and Marty and Scott, and I mean, everybody just looking, and takes so much courage to speak up. And then I was like, hey, I don't mean to be annoying, but it just, so that's what I'm working through with women. Like, breathe, trust yourself. Like, I try not to, like you belong in the room, like that you just are a person in the room with thoughts and ideas, and say them and then listen to what they're saying. Like, that's it.
Jill, I love you being a part of our board of directors. It's so fun. And not just because you're a woman and former player, but like you think and like you process and it's really cool. I've always like, I wish people could see more of the inner workings of our group
Yeah.
of leaders inside the alliance. You've had a front row seat from the beginning and also coming
Hmm.
in, like didn't know some of these people as well.
Hmm.
Can you give like, what's your perspective in 5 years of sitting in these rooms virtually and sometimes physically
Sometimes physically.
with this group of alliance leaders?
Jamie, you have changed my life with them. So it started off, people are tough for me naturally. People are something that I have to kind of, like you said, I like to think. So I want to reason through people and figure out where I fit in the room and where they fit in the room and what everybody wants in the room. And these, when we started the alliance, I didn't know any of these people, like actually know them. And everybody would kind of get on the calls and be like, how are you doing? And giving each other a hard time. And I'm like, can we just get to the numbers? Like, what are we doing? And fast forward now, they're all my friends. It makes me so happy to see their faces, because of how I am with like analyzing people. And I just need to like understand. I can get on now and see like, oh, is that like they seem off, and just like reach out and be like, hey, like, you good? Because we're all trying to do something that's new and difficult, and we're having to be creative and professional and collaborative, but also making sure that we're maintaining our own autonomy. So it's just this very complicated thing that we're all doing together. And they're all my friends now. Like, I just look so forward to seeing them both virtually and in person. Like, for the winter meetings this year, I was not missing that. I mean, that I don't like to travel. It's difficult for me. And we had another trip that we did, and then getting there, it was like, I'm not missing seeing my friends. So it's so fun. I actually do love them now. Like, I love the board members, and we definitely do not agree on a lot of stuff, which is my favorite.
Mhm.
I love a respectful disagreement, and it makes me so happy when the disagreements get going. I'm like, oh, like, where's this headed? It's so fun. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it's sports, right? Like that is it
Hmm.
goes back to your tough conversations and
Hmm.
the ability to listen and have an opinion. It's cool. I just one day we're gonna do a docu series because I get to live it every single day. And I don't think people they see the outcomes, right? They see what the alliance is doing, but to really understand the people and the passion, and that's
Hmm.
because we do all have a shared mission, just like a team. That's
Hmm.
why we can have some of those different personalities and tough questions. So it's really fun. I knew you'd have a good perspective too, because I think we get to talk about it all the
Well,
time.
yeah, because I'm like, people are hard. And this is a lot of strong personalities, and I love them. I really do. Like, when, and now I know like the cadence of so like they'll start talking, and I'm like, okay. Like, when Scott's being quiet, I'm like, like, what's coming? And then I love it when Steph will just say, I don't like to say too much in these. I like to listen to y'all. And then he'll give us his drop some wisdom. So it's just really fun.
You said something, doing something that's new and difficult and different. I think that you guys, what you've created with through Connect Sports and through your events, I think that is new. It's different. It's not what everybody else has done. Can you give a little peek, what do you call it? Peek behind the curtain what you guys have built with Scenic City and the operations of a massive event like that. I don't think people realize what it takes to put on an event of that size. Obviously, you didn't start with that. You guys have had to
Mhm.
build it up to that. But what does that take? If I'm somebody, I'm interested in getting into this. Like, what has that journey been like?
So now we're very operations driven. We are, we have teams that are coming and we want to make sure that they have the best experience that they can. Our North Star is experience. Everyone. Like we want the hourly workers, the umpires, the parents, the players, the coaches to have the best experience that we can provide. That's top of the list for us, top priority. Um, it starts though with a vision, and Jeremy is my visionary. So um, it'll that it'll get a little annoying because he's like has these ideas, and I'm like I can't do that work. Like that's my staff can't do that work. But and he'll get annoyed because I'll call them my staff, like it's my team, because that to me is what it feels like. Like he has the vision, and then this group of amazing women and some men pull off this vision. It is a year-round gig. Doing We run about 10 events right now, and it's we work year round to pull these off. But it starts with Jeremy and his vision. He wanted to have the fireworks of the Southeast. Like that's what he wanted in 2007. He was like, Chattanooga could be another huge Colorado. And we started with, I think it was 40 teams on 6 fields. And we've just, it's been small decision after small decision um, to get us to this place where now we have, close to 500 teams on something like 85 fields. And so that's a lot of logistics. But we started doing this thing again. Jeremy had, we were kind of feeling like things were getting a little stale, and it was just kind of like a tournament, just that everybody. And so he was like, let's make it the ultimate fast pitch experience. And so then we started building smaller events, individual events around it. We have several tournaments within tournaments. So I have a brilliant Georgia Tech grad, Brooke Huckabee. She does our scheduling for us. And the amount of complexity and depth that goes into our schedule takes a brain like Brooks. I mean, just what she can do is so cool. And then Ashley Boyd, our COO, she's taking into account like, okay, these umpires should be working with this group. They need this amount of break. They're going to be staying here. So I need to make sure that they're getting the right food. And it's like, how are you holding all of that in your brain at once? And it just, the team it's so fun too. They all love each other and they work really well together. So it's so fun to watch them like take on a project, and they're like, okay, I'll do this. I'll do this. Did you do this yet? Did you do this yet? Once you do that, you let me know, and then I'll do this. And it's just really fun.
It's so cool. As an athlete, right? We used to show up to these tournaments or our games, right? And had no idea what went on behind the scenes.
Right.
And nowadays, as running
Mhm.
national championships and things like that, you realize all the little pieces that go into it. But I think like combining what a lot of what you're saying is you're creating opportunities for these
Mhm.
former players, whoever it is, right? But I always think it's cool to take your skill set off the field and be able to merge it inside of
Mhm.
softball because you've probably got all kinds of different people of the more creative, the more arts, the ones who like to sit behind the computer and do logistics and be behind the scenes. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, what would you tell for young girls, young athletes that were probably like me and have no idea what they want to do? But how do you find that? How do you find those skills and figure out a way to work in something that you love?
So show up, say yes, and do the work that's asked of you. That to me is the number one thing. We give opportunities to hundreds of people each year, and the ones who show up and do the work, um, they have like a face that's like pleasant, that they like. We want to work with them. I actually had a staff member come in the other day, and she was just not feeling it. I was like, hey, I need you to fix your face. Like, I love you so much, but like, we are trying, this is tough. So I can't handle that energy in this
Tough
moment.
conversations. Tough
I
conversations.
know. So I literally, and she played for me. So poor thing. She's been putting up with this for like a long time. And I was like, hey, just take a second. Please fix your face. Like, this is tough. I had a really tough conversation coming up later that day. I was like, I can't handle you and that. Please fix your face, because it's really important to me that they're able to like be negative whenever they need to be negative, but also you can't like walk around like that. Like, fix it. So I would say, I always like say yes, show up. Um, it's like strategic in a people type of way. Like, find someone that you're like, oh, I like working with you, and work with them. Like, I have found that people like working with other people, even if they don't know it. And so I'll just like find little cracks to get in to work with people. I mean, I met Natasha Watley and I was like, we should be friends. We should work together. I actually genuinely love Tasha. I mean, anyone who meets her knows her. I mean, loves her. And now we're working together like on several projects, and like that should happen. Dana Sorensen, I met her at Florida State Camp in like 2012, and I was like, oh, you're cool. You're smart. Like, what? And so I just started like texting her, like, hey, do you want to talk about this? Do you want to talk about that? We ended up starting a business together in 2013. And that was the catalyst for us actually, for Jeremy and I starting Connect Sports, because that was the first partnership that I created that was just mine. So we are like, oh, we can do this. So that's a long answer. Sorry, but it's just a bunch of like, yes, and then like find the people.
I
And
love
I'll
that.
and I'll send I send a bunch of like random text messages. Like, hey, just thinking about you, this happened. Like, I'm really, because I know that people, it's my insecurity that keeps me from sending those. So I want to be kind of bold and send like, hey, I was thinking about you. I think you're awesome, essentially. And then I connect with the people I want to connect with. I'm
Jill,
not sending those text messages to people I don't want to connect with, you know?
that's like, to me, that is life skills, whether you're an athlete in the recruiting process, whether
Hmm.
you're in business, like any of this, right? Be bold.
Hmm.
It's part of my mantra that I'm working on now is to be bold because it's hard
Yeah.
sometimes and to put
You
yourself
are
out.
bold.
I'm getting there.
You are.
I was a people pleaser for so long, and now just being bold and stating my opinion it's a growing process, I'd say.
Hmm. Yeah,
You
it's
said
tough.
you said something earlier that I want to. You said looking the part, and you were talking specifically about the young women that you brought into the boardroom. I'm always
Hmm.
so curious. I was teaching, by the way, and I was a professor, and the male professor told the guys like, just like wear golf, like polo and khakis, and girls wear the equivalent of that. So I'm curious of your opinion. Looking the part, what for a young woman? What does that mean?
JB, that is so complicated. And you're right. Like, I still, you know my personality so well. Like, Jeremy gets dressed and he has on khakis and a collared shirt and he looks great and he's comfortable
Yep.
and it was affordable and he didn't have to fret over it. It's just very simple. So for women, like, I don't like a polo shirt on me. Like, with my broad shoulders and larger chest, I don't like a polo shirt. So I wear like button downs when I can, when I want to look professional, or even just like a nice t-shirt, like that doesn't look like I worked out in it, you know? And then I love like all the athleisure pants and things that are out there right now. I mean, even like a nice pair of joggers in most of the settings that I'm in are great. And then some nice shoes. And then also like look like you showered. And most of the women that I work with don't wear much makeup, which I love. But just like look like you combed your hair and look like you smell good, actually smell good, and then wear clothes with like good lines. But it is so complicated for women. I spend so much time, and especially as I age. So now at 45, things are different. Like, I can't just like throw on the tight shirt that used to look really good. Like now that's just not the same. So it's way too complicated, I think, for women. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but
No, it's hard. It is definitely our equivalent of, the golf outfit is harder.
well, I'm telling you, it is a sore subject. I'm like, what is our golf outfit? Jeremy is actually making fun of me. I just started playing golf, and he said, because I don't know what to wear, he said I looked like a nun. I looked like an athletic nun because of what I wore, and I was like, I thought I was dressing the part, but I had on some like culottes and like an alliance hitting,
What's
like
it cool? Is that
culottes, capri pants,
okay?
like showing my
It's
age. Like, yeah,
cool.
like just like big baggy capri pants. And then an alliance hitting jacket and like a hat. And he was like, you look like
Oh yeah,
an
that's
athletic nun. I was like, well, I just need you to tell me what to wear then because I don't know what golf clothes are. Like, I know
is
what tennis clothes are. I don't know what to wear.
so. Listen, the struggle continues and is real. Some very simple things. You said shower, comb your hair, look like you smell well. Like that goes a long way. I think
Yeah.
like I would, just show up, being present. Like that's a big deal.
Yeah. And like actually listen. But it takes so much confidence to actually listen. Like, it just takes so much confidence for women for whatever reason, and it's getting better. So I should say for women my age, typically we're not just like taught that I hate this is going to be so buzzy, but that we're enough. Like it's like you have to earn this and you have to take care of these things in order to be able to walk into the room. And I watch young men. I mean, my son has no problem thinking that I do think that it's a gender thing. I think that the young men, they're just taught their whole lives like, oh, boys will be boys. They talk when they're out of turn, whatever, and girls are, earning it all the time. It's like you don't have to earn it. Just like smell good, look like you smell good, and then be confident enough to like actually listen. So
I like it. I like it. It is Women's History Month, by the way, right? And I
mm-hmm.
know you've got some fun facts and tidbits because you're a learner. But where we're at nowadays, now we are at a spot where you said these young women are like, no, I'm used to. There's lots of women in the room. There's way more women in leadership positions, but there's been things in history that have helped shape that, right? Like give me some facts. Give me some things that surprised you in regards to history, whether it's history of women just in general, or women in business, or women in sport that just like blew your mind.
It's the finance stuff. I don't want to say the exact dates because I'll get them wrong, but the year that women could get a credit card without a man signing, it is mind blowing how recent that is. My mom signed her checks, Mrs. Joseph P. Crawford, and like was so excited to do that. I don't think she could open, and I really think in Lake Charles she couldn't open a checking account on her own without her husband. The year where women could get a business loan without a man co-signing, it's insane. It's so
We're
recent.
talking like 1980s, 1970s.
It's 80s. It's like late 80s.
That's when I was born. That's crazy.
Jamie, it's so recent. It's crazy. So women, the fact that there are so many women in the room so quickly means that like it was always there, but we were totally limited like by law to like not be able to like the reason we don't feel like we should be in rooms is because we actually were not allowed in them. We actually were not allowed in them. So those are the things like when I'll go down those rabbit holes, I'm like, no way. Like mom couldn't get a credit card. Like what? Like like so crazy. So those are the ones that really get me. And then the Title IX stuff. Okay, so Title IX. This is so intriguing to me. Everyone knows Title IX, right? Like women's sports or gender, it has to be equal. That only matters if you sue the entity that has too many opportunities for men compared to women, or vice versa. It's not like, so there's a school who's putting in a new football stadium, which is awesome. Love that they're getting a new football stadium. It's an inner city school. Like, love that for those young men. So what are you doing for the women? Because women don't play football. Like, that, what's happening there? Are you putting in a softball field or anything? Oh no, we don't have to. Well, they don't have to comply with Title IX until someone sues them. It's not like a given that if you're doing something for the young men, that you're going to do something for the young women. And still, most times, men are the ones with the money. So they're the ones make still. Now it's different. And by the way, I love men. I am like, by no means, I mean, it's just crazy how like women have actually been limited. Like, we're not making this stuff up. Like, you look at, so Title IX means, so yes, we have to get equal things, but it's not a given. You have to actually sue to get that. And then you're that. So then you're saying, so then it comes off like the boys are getting something, so I should get something. And so now it's like, oh wait, so you don't want the boys to get the stadium? Like, no, I'm just saying that the girls should have the same opportunity, but like, you have to come in and fight for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's fascinating. When I learned that, I was like, hold on. Title IX, it has to be a lawsuit? Like, it's a civil suit? It's crazy.
I didn't know that. This is actually an important follow up because you said something, and I know you and your husband's relationship too. Um, and even our Alliance board members, right? A lot of men, but men who are very passionate about the female athlete, building her up, developing the female athlete on and off the field, which I think we both agree is so important to have both sides of that. It's still fighting for the growth of our female athletes, being mentors, providing opportunities, but it's also important to recognize the men that played a big role and also help us.
Yeah, no, I mean, there are a lot of men who were in the room because they were allowed to be, that cared about women's equality and care about women getting opportunities. And that's, the Alliance board is full of men that are empowering women and have been for decades, most of them. So for sure, that's what I was like. Not, I love men; they're wonderful. My husband is wonderful. Jeremy was a feminist before I was, like, like, like long before I was. So
I love that. I asked ChatGPT some questions, and I thought this one, the most inspiring story that has resonated with you, ideally in the realm of women's sports.
athletics. I mean, Billie Jean King's story just gets me. Like, I'm so happy that they did that, like, full production Battle of the Sexes movie several years ago. Do you see that? So
I don't think I saw that.
her story's just insane, and this, I don't know if this, so they started with $1. So I don't even know what it was called, but the women broke away from the men, and I think there were 9 women, and they all got paid $1 to be the first professional tennis league, or that professional tennis league, the one that worked. They were sponsored by Virginia Slims.
Did know that.
Yes. So the Virginia Slim tour is like what propelled, so cigarettes propelled, but they just went to where the money was,
Yeah.
which is like, I think, so smart. Like, those were the people. And, cigarettes were a different thing back then than they are now. But Billie Jean King's story, to me, the fact that she was the best, like, she was so clearly the best at her sport. And then she took that platform and was an advocate for all women tennis players, and now continues to be an advocate for women's sports. Just her story gets me. I can't read enough about her.
And she's still building businesses like Women's Sports Foundation. Now she's got these private equity funds and stuff. She's super inspiring as just in general too.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think where we're going with women's sports, right? Like, it's in the conversation. It's on TV. We're getting the storytelling. We're watching these women make 6, 7, 8 figures now. Like, where do you want to see that go? And especially and particularly in softball.
So I want to start with, it's interesting to me in this, the men used to have all the money. I mean, that was like part of it. Women, so professional athletes, started making the money. that the professional sports are making. And that has affected what we know to be professional sports today. Like the fact that the professional athletes actually have a hand in creating them. Women have started to get in the rooms with the money. And so women have started to affect where the money is being spent, which includes female professional sports. It also includes commercials. Like I know that you like the commercials that are on now about like women have like a whole body that needs to not smell bad. Like those commercials like blow my mind. That was not happening very recently. It's like women now have money, and so companies are selling to them. So I don't have a specific place that I would love for professional softball to go. I actually don't. I trust the women in the room to take it to a place that is actually marketable, a place that people actually want to watch. I think that people like you are going to be able to make superstars out of these athletes. I mean, Skylar Wallace, her personality, like everyone should know who she is, not just softball fans. Like, just beyond sports, just a huge personality. So I trust the women in the room to make our sport something that people should pay attention to. And really, it's women. Like women spend money, women watch. So, and I just listened to Tony's podcast in preparation for this, and he was saying that there's softball on in restaurants now, Tony Rico. And Jeremy and I went to like the oldest bar in New York. There were like 10 of those in New York City. And this was probably 12 years ago. And we had kids that were playing on TV in the spring. And so we sat down in the bar and we were like, hey, could you turn on ESPN2? There's softball on. And he was like, the bartender in this dark bar at like 5 p.m. in New York City was like, excuse me, you want to watch softball? And we were like, yeah, like, please, like we have kids that are playing. And they turned it and he was like, no one has ever asked to watch softball in this bar. And now, I mean, it's in the spring, you're walking around, there's softball on. In the summer, there's Athletes Unlimited on. Like it's mainstream to a point that I didn't know was possible. But again, I think it's women having access to the money and the money going into women, which is, it's not like it's an intentional thing. It's just how they like, I want to see people like me doing cool things. So
It matters. It matters being in the room
mm-hmm,
and just saying, have you thought about this? Right. And just
mm-hmm,
adding, that's why I think diversity is important too, of just those perspectives in the boardroom or
mm-hmm.
around the table, just to ask that question. I was just in Vegas for an event and softball, the Clearwater tournament was on. And it's, because Vegas is Pacific time. So it was like 7 in the morning and I'm walking through and like on the sports bar, there's A&M playing Oklahoma State. I'm like, this is freaking cool right here in
It's
February.
so cool. No, and in '01, so the World Series in '01, that was the first World Series where every single game was on ESPN.
Oh,
And I think it was just ESPN and ESPN2 at the time. And so that's what I like. So all the women who are making the things happen with AUSL, they played in the '01 World Series. Like
it's cool.
it's, yeah, Mendoza was in that. She wasn't at that table that night, but she was in the '01 World Series. So it's all about visibility, I think. And that's why I think like what Tasha's doing with her foundation, I'm like, we've got to get different looking colored people in the room as well. It can't just be a bunch of white women making the decision. Like it has to be multiple different looking people.
Very true. Very true. Okay, usually I do rapid fire, but I want to end on like a one deep question because I feel like you're a deeper person than just some rapid fire. Of all the things in our sport that you've done from a business perspective,
Mm.
what are you most proud of?
Okay, so can I say the one that lights me up the most currently, because that's very much a current thing, is we sold out a professional softball game last year. And you've been doing business. We we chose the colors and the logo 8 months before that game. And then my team, Madison Crownover, she's never made a logo in her life. She made the logo. She spent so much time figuring out I mean, she decorated that stadium beautifully. Like it looked like a professional softball stadium. And people showed up. Jay, I did a live radio show and we had sold like half of the stadium, which I was proud of. Like, I was like, we did this. And then during the live radio station, I'm like embarrassed because, this radio station is going to see how few people show up. And people just kept showing up. Like, so many people were excited to have professional softball in Chattanooga. And it was people like someone's PE teacher. The guy who was like hosting the radio show, his like PE teacher walked up and they're like, "Oh, Miss whatever, like you're here." And like my friends, I've got like, we were the Chattanooga Steam. So it was choo choo was our thing, like choo choo. And so I've got like a group of my closest friends with their kids, with their gloves. And like, they're all going choo choo. Like my team pulling that off along with the city of Chattanooga, that was insanity. Kaylee Tao hit a home run. Like it was just, that was crazy. That was out of body. And that was like a moment that was really hard, really hard. But super proud of my team and what we were able to do. That made me feel like we can do anything. It's like, yeah, that was really cool.
See, way more fun to ask you that question. That I could feel your answer in that question. So, Jill,
Well, it's a little, yeah.
You don't often like, I don't think, being on camera, and
Yeah.
I think it's really important. I think your story, I think what you're doing in our sport is super important, who you are. So I want the world to know who you are and get a more insight into what's going on behind the scenes. So thank you for joining me on the car ride home.
This was so fun. Thanks, Jamie. And I really want someone to interview you because I think everyone should hear your story as well. So
I give little tidbits here and there.
yeah, I'm advocating for it.
We'll
This should
see.
happen.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, much appreciated. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.